Has Armor and her newfound friends actually managed to single out the mysterious Shadow King, or are they actually heading full long into a much larger and devious mystery than they could ever imagine? Well, let's hop into the pages of Ultimate X-Men issue number 6 and find out together, shall we? So then, in the last issue, thanks to some very well-kept files courtesy of Niku Minoru's grandmother, Hisako and May think they may finally have found their best lead in revealing the true secret identity of Hisako's strange stalker, the Shadow King. All roads, it would seem, lead to a mysterious cult called, get this, the Children of the Atom, whose symbol is even more interestingly an X. In fact, if you look at this paperwork, you can very clearly see an individual shooting off with optic blasts. I wonder. Of course, with every new question answered, an even more burning question ends up taking its place, mainly if the Shadow King and the Cult of the Atom are all related. Did they possibly have something to do with Tsubasa's death? Which every day is looking more like premeditated murder and not actually suicide. It's May who floats the idea that perhaps Tsubasa's parents were involved with this Atom cult. It's right around here too, Nico's two friends who have been hanging out with her since her introduction, Natsu and Mori, end up going really quiet. Why? Because, well, wouldn't you know, their parents are actually already members of the Children of the Atom, and they instructed their children never to talk about it. This is a pretty big damn revelation for two reasons. One, this cult's reach is actually way longer than we first thought, and two, it actually saves Armor and the others from having to investigate that much more. Man, for a secretive cult, they're apparently not that secretive. Well, actually, it's not true. The Children of the Atom seems to be the more traditionally religious-facing arm of the organization, where the actual cult of Homo Superior is kind of like a group within a group. In fact, we get to see some of the church's recruitment material, and in a nice little touch, it actually seems very familiar if you know Japanese cults like Om Shinki-ryo, which you might actually have heard of them as they were the perpetrators of the famous nerve gas attack on the Japanese subway system. This issue also actually ends up really shifting gears in the second half as our POV switches over to Kageyama. He writes a letter wherein he details his and his own family's relationship with the Children of the Atom. Apparently, at a young age, the Shadow King came into his powers. He was able to read other people's thoughts and project his thoughts into other people's minds. Which is a bad thing, because he was one of those messed up serial killer children who almost drove his mother completely insane with the dark and messed up things he was projecting from his own mind. In her desperation to help her son, and let's face it, herself too, Kageyama's mother ended up looking to the Children of the Atom, and well, they were all too quick to take him in. The cult taught the young Shadow King to control his powers. It also seems that Surge's family was a member of this group too. The children were elevated above the other rank-and-file members, though. They were special. They were chosen. According to Kageyama, the Children of the Atom really helped out his family life. His mother was happy, and by extension, he was happy too, even though he knew full well that none of this was him, and that he was only going through the motions doing what he was told. That changed, however, he says, when he met Hisako for the first time. But wait, he never actually met Hisako. He's still a stranger to her. A fact of which is fully confirmed when the Shadow King once again tries to attack Armor and her friends in the park. The big difference, though, during this attack is that Armor is actually ready, and she's not alone, despite everything Shadow King has been trying to do to fill Hisako with feelings of survivor's guilt and doubt. She has actually managed to move past Tsubasa's death. She's made new friends, she doesn't blame herself anymore, and in doing so, she's mastered a new level of her new armor power. In fact, she's so strong now, she's actually able to reach out and grab the Shadow King's tendrils, stopping him from teleporting away. This means that together with Mei and Nico, they're actually able to vanquish the Shadow King. Well, not really. Kageyama was never here. This was just another one of his shadow creatures. But for the first time ever, Hisako has actually managed to see her stalker's face and give him one hell of a black eye too. In fact, Kageyama back in the physical world is actually feeling the injuries from this fight. Kageyama's mother is so worried about him, she actually scoops him up and takes him to the Maystorm of the cult. And wouldn't you know it, despite all their talk about blood oaths, magic this, magic that, in reality, the real heart of the Children of the Atom seems to be much more based around traditional medical science. points, we can also see crucified to an X, they have themselves a prisoner. You know, it's like that famous Wolverine cover, or that other time they crucified the X-Men. Man, Marvel really loves crucifying X-Men, don't they? Either way, it's on that shocking note right there, the comic comes to a close, and so that was Ultimate X-Men issue number 6, everybody, and I gotta say, as the first arc of this series hits its big conclusion, I gotta take my hat off to Peach Momoko and the whole team on this book, because I think they really have managed to make something really special here. The character arcs are good, the relationship between the kids is really nice and wholesome, the horror stuff continues to be good, and the bigger mystery at the heart of this series has me on the edge of my seat. This issue here basically seeks to imply that all this talk of magic and mysticism that we've been dealing with in the first half of the book might not actually be everything it appears, as the children of the Atom look to be doing your regular run-of-the-mill medical experiments. Who's that guy on the X? Are they stealing his blood? Is that part of the blood pack that they keep talking about? If so, why did Nico and May's powers activate only after they had some manner of interaction with the Shadow King himself? I don't know, but you can bet I'm really interested to learn. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one another 8.5 out of 10. We got a lot of great X-Men books at Marvel right now. Hell, we got a lot of great Ultimate books at Marvel right now, but nothing quite hits for me like Ultimate X-Men does. It's just so unique and so outside the box, and it's something I'm really glad I stuck with for this long. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest, that's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.